Hey everybody, Sensei James Wall, and we are here with the Junior Judo Requirements for Semester 3, 2016. These are the months of September through December of our Junior Judo curriculum. Our throwing techniques this semester are Seoi Otoshi, the drop knee shoulder throw, Osoto Makikomi, large outer wraparound, Tani Otoshi, the valley drop. Pinning techniques this semester, we have Kazure Keisagatami, a modified scarf hold. We're going to use a bridge and roll or uphill turn escape. Kami Shiho Gatami, the upper four-corner hold. We're going to use a double bridge and roll escape. And then we have Ushiro Keisagatami, reverse scarf hold. We're doing what's called a legs over escape. Our miscellaneous mat work this semester, we have the double ankle sweep, the half stack, guard pass. We're going to do Hadaka Jime, the naked choke, and Sankaku Jime, the triangle choke. Those are going to be for 10, 11, and 12-year-olds only, and they will not be tested on that material. It's just extra material we're going to try to work in for them. Vocabulary and general knowledge for this semester, we have Tani, which means valley, Otoshi, which means drop, O, which is large, Makikomi is wraparound, Shiai is tournament. As always, we want the kids learning to count to 10 in Japanese: Ichi, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Roku, Shichi, Hachi, Ku, and Ju. And our question this semester, what are the two types of throwing techniques? We have standing and sacrifice throws. So those are the written requirements, vocabulary and general knowledge for semester 3 of 2016, September through December. Hey everybody, Sensei James Wall here along with Sensei John King. We're going to be going over the Junior Judo requirements for semester 3, 2016. These are the months of September through December in our Junior Judo curriculum. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start with the throwing techniques for this semester. First one is Seoi Otoshi, the drop knee shoulder throw. So we're going to start with our standard judo grip. I've got my right foot forward. My opponent either has his right foot forward or standing in a neutral stance. I'm going to move in with my right arm and right leg at the same time. My right arm is going to go deeply under his armpit, and I'm going to pull him forward and against my body here with this sleeve grip, just like this. Now my left leg steps back so that the back of my body is in direct contact with the front of his body, like this. And notice that my head is leaning forward. We don't want our chin to come up and our head to go back at this point of the throw. It's easy for him to throw me backwards if that occurs. So we keep a constant pull forward and keep our head and chin down. Now I'm going to drop to both knees, and I really want to get underneath him as much as possible. Pull forward, down, and then twist like I'm trying to find my toes. So I pull down and twist for the finish. So let's see that again, straight through without the talking. So that's Seoi Otoshi, the drop knee shoulder throw. Our next throw for this semester is Osoto Makikomi, the large outer wraparound. It's a combination of Osoto Gari and a Makikomi, or wrapping or wraparound throw. So the way we generally see this done, or the way we drill for it for competition purposes, is if I have an opponent who is in the habit of bending over slightly, we call that hipping out, trying to keep his hips back away from me. So if I can see over the top of his shoulder, it's a good opportunity. My right arm can shoot over his shoulder, and I can grab his belt and pull him tightly into my armpit here. Now my right heel comes up, and I want to hook it right behind his knee. Tuck my head, and then take a series of small hops until my support foot is even with his leg or slightly behind it. Now I'm going to kick his leg out while I also wrap my upper body like this. Kick and wrap. Here. Let's see that again. So that's Osoto Makikomi, large outer wraparound. Our last throw for this semester is a counter technique, a technique we utilize when our opponent comes in, turns around, tries to throw us forward. This is Tani Otoshi, the valley drop. So in this case, I'm going to have Sensei John attempting to throw me with Kubinagi, one of the first throws our kids learn when they're ready for their yellow stripe. So he comes in, arm around my neck, and he intends to throw me forward. What I want to do is catch him as he's coming toward me, before he has completely turned and started pulling me forward. If I wait until now, it's going to be too late. So this time, as he comes in, what I want to do is grab him, either the back of his gi, around his waist, grab his belt, whatever feels comfortable or good, and I'm going to let my left leg drop right on the mat as close to his heels as I can get it. And I want to drive him or turn him so he lands on his back, but it's really important that I land on my side, not on my back. So I'll grab him here, drop my leg, and turn and steer him down to the mat, making sure he lands here and I don't land on my back. Let's see that again. So, Tani Otoshi, the valley drop. Let's go right into our pinning techniques for this semester. We have 3 pins. The first one is Kuzure Keisagatami. Now the kids should remember doing Keisagatami for their yellow stripe. That's the scarf hold. Kuzure just means modified. So this is the modified scarf hold. And the only difference is my right arm is going to go underneath his armpit and cup his shoulder instead of going behind his neck. So I'm going to sit close to him, arm beneath his shoulder, grabs the top of his shoulder, arm under his armpit, grabs his shoulder, hug this arm, sit in real tight and close. My legs are out wide, my head is tucked in nice and tight. So we have Kuzure Keisagatami. Our next pin is Kami Shihogatami, the upper 4-corner hold. In this case, I'm up above my opponent's head, sometimes referred to as the north-south position or north-south pin. For the standard traditional version, we like to see the kids put both arms beneath the shoulders and then grab the opponent's belt or gi on each side like this. Then I'm going to pull myself in close and tight and legs out wide, hips as low as I can get them. So this is Kami Shihogatami, the upper 4-corner hold. Now, our last pin is Ushiro Keisagatami. So again, it's a variation of Keisagatami, the scarf hold. In this case, Ushiro means reverse. So this is going to be the reverse scarf hold, and that means for me, I'm going to be looking the opposite direction. Instead of looking at his head, I'm actually looking at his feet. So we usually see this one done as a transition from Kami Shihogatami into Ushiro Keisagatami. So I'll show it that way first. So I'm here in the upper 4-corner hold. My left arm releases the belt, comes around, and I want to cup his arm and pull it underneath my armpit. Now my legs sit through here, and I keep my right hand exactly where it was. It's still under his shoulder, holding his belt. So this really should look and feel almost exactly like Keisagatami for the kids, which they've done many times, except that now I'm actually looking at his feet, not looking at his head. So again, the position is I'm sitting here at his shoulder. My right arm is under his shoulder. The right arm can also be under his armpit. It's okay if it's here and holding the belt. That is also acceptable. Generally, we teach it with the arm under the armpit, and I'm actually grabbing the belt on the other side. I've got this arm trapped tight under my armpit, and I'm gripping his gi, and my legs are out nice and wide. If I switch sides for you, it would look like this. All right, so those are our 3 pinning techniques. I'm going to have Sensei John pin me, and I'm going to go over the escapes for those real quick. Let's start with Kuzure Keisagatami, the modified scarf hold. So here we're going to see a bridge and roll, and then an uphill turn. The kids should remember both of these from working on their yellow stripe requirements. For the bridge and roll, I'm going to grab him with both hands, put my feet close to his body, push him forward with my legs and hips, and then bridge him at an angle over my shoulder here. For the uphill turn, once he's in position, I'll take this hand and I'll start to drive his head down toward the mat. And it's important I snap and try to pull this hand free if possible. So as I'm pushing him down, I make a fast turning and snapping motion. Now I have enough slack I can get my knees on the mat, I can sit up, and then I can again counterattack him, turn him over, pin him, whatever I need to do. Kami Shiho Gatami, the upper four-corner hold. We're doing a double bridge and roll. So, once he has me in this pin, what I'm going to do first is take my hands, grab him by the belt or the gi, and I want to pull him as close to me as possible. I want to have his center and my center as tight as I can get it. I'm going to take both of my legs, I'm going to throw them way over here, and then I'm going to try to bridge him that way. Now, this might succeed. So if I succeed in lifting with my legs, pushing with my arms like this, then I would just turn him all the way over. That would be a single bridge. This semester, we're working the double bridge. So I'm going to attempt the single bridge, but my opponent resists by pushing back strongly against me. What I'm going to do in response to that is change my legs to the other side as fast as I can and then bridge him in the way he's already pushing, like this. I go here, he pushes the other way, so I switch and push in the opposite direction. So in effect, I'm using his energy, his force, his momentum against him to execute the double bridge and roll. So our last one is going to be Ushiro Keisagatami. Going to have Sensei John pin me right here for this one. And we're going to do what we call a legs over escape. So what I want to do here is get my legs to go over that way. So I'm going to grab him and hold him tight. I'm going to put both my legs together, and then I'm going to throw him over and push his body as hard as I can. So very similar to a bridge and roll, except I'm not really having to lift his body much over my body, as much as just kind of turning or changing the angle. We have a couple of miscellaneous mat work techniques. The first one is the double ankle sweep. Now this can happen if my opponent has thrown me down and has gotten too close to me and his feet are both close to my body. Or it could happen if my opponent's in my guard and he stands up but leaves his feet both too close. So in either case, what has happened here is I'm on my back and my opponent is here. His feet are close to my hips. When we try to teach the kids that you should never stand this way, ideally you want 1 foot forward and 1 foot way back. We call it combat stance or combat base. But sometimes in the heat of action, maybe he got the throw and he's so eager to come in and pass the guard and pin me that he steps up too close. So now you can see I can reach both of his heels. So I'm going to grab his heels and then my feet are going to go here on his hips. Now, if they can only grab the pants, that's okay, but we would prefer that they actually hook the fingers behind the heels if possible. It's going to be a lot stronger, a lot harder for him to kick his leg and escape from. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull his heels while I push with my feet. Ideally, he falls down, and then I try to get up as fast as I can and get a pin. So I grab him here, and I push and pull, and then I pop up as quick as I can, and I end up in a pin of my own. Now the worst case scenario is maybe it takes me a little too long to get up and he's able to catch me in his guard again and then I have to try to fight to pass his guard, but at least now I'm not on my back, not in quite as much danger as I was in before. Alright, our very last technique is a guard pass. It's called the half stack sweep. In the adult program we also refer to this one as a swinging leg guard pass. But we want the kids to really be sure they're focusing on stacking the opponent and sort of stapling or pinning them to the ground. We don't want them grabbing the leg and trying to throw it way over and letting the opponent get away. So as always, when we're in our opponent's guard, we're going to have our legs really wide, our shoulders and postures nice and tall, and my elbows are inside his legs with really short arms. We say T-Rex arms for the kids. My right hand is going to grab his lapel about the middle of his body, and it's important that my elbow is going to close down here as tight as I can. I'm going to keep it there. I don't want him able to get his leg under my armpit and affect my balance, or later when they're in the adult program he'd be able to do choking techniques like that. So grab with the right hand, elbow goes down to my hip or thigh. Now I reach back with my left, scoop under his calf and heel, bring his leg to my shoulder. Now here comes the stack. So I drive his knee toward his chest. Once it's there, my right thumb grabs inside his collar. Now I lift my hips up and kick my legs back, and I'm going to be on my toes like this. And now I lean further forward and really put pressure. Then I tiptoe, tiptoe. When I feel that his leg is almost ready to pass my head and shoulders, I'm just going to make a little shrug with my shoulder like this. Just kind of bump it. So what we don't want the kids to do, we don't want the kids to let go with this right hand and then try to throw the leg off, and they sometimes want to do that. So once we get to here, they shouldn't let go and do that, because now it's easier for him to turn over and get away. We want them to keep this grip and just shrug their shoulder to bump that across. So here, here, stack them up, thumb inside, put some pressure, step, step, boom. And then we're able to go into any of the pins that we like, maybe our Kazure Keisugatami. All right, so those are your requirements for semester 3, 2016 for the Junior Judo curriculum. Thanks very much. Be sure you guys are studying hard, and we'll see you on the mats.